ओम शांति अव्यक्ति परिवार में
Om
आपका
Shanti. Everybody is welcome to the Avyakti Parivar. Today is day 98 of Avyakti Jewels of Knowledge. And now we will listen from Moini Didi.
ओम शांति।
Om Shanti.
जीवन में धारणा और ग्रहण करने का बहुत महत्व है।
In life, there is a great importance of inculcation. Our intellects imbibes, and in our interaction, we use our understanding and knowledge. And when we do that, there is strength and the stage of the soul is created. So what we have to imbibe in our intellect, because everything comes from the outside. But what do I need to imbibe in my intellect? So Baba always gives the example of a swan. The swan has the understanding that I need to let go of stones, pebbles, and to pick pearls. In the same way, in the world, there are so many varieties of news, lots and lots of varieties of information. We can close many of our sense organs, but how do we close our ears? But we need to pay attention. What I need to listen, what kind of information I shouldn't. Because once the information goes in, then I think many times, even a small thing, even while I'm eating, if there is a small pebble, in different kinds of dals, and there is a very tiny, tiny pebble. If it comes when we're eating, there's so much of upheaval. So these days, I'm paying a lot of attention on this aspect. In my, not only in my interaction, but even in the logics, the kind of news that we listen these days, there's lots and lots of varieties of, there is an atmosphere of violence, there is an atmosphere of hatred, there is an atmosphere of discrimination of color. There are different varieties. And whatever we get to hear, there is one or the other vice. There could be of lust, anger, ego. These are the kind of news that we get to hear. Baba says, child, the vices will go to the extreme. So somebody was sharing that we used to work from home initially. And then
तो घर में जब काम करते थे बैठ
so while working from home, it was very nice that I could work from home. It was a nice atmosphere we would work with. And slowly we have, some are going for 2 days, some are going to work on 3 days. So the outside atmosphere is extremely negative. And even for small, small matters, there is violence. No, they go to the extent of violence. There's anger. So we get to hear a lot of sad stories. I don't get to see that, but we get to listen. And from one way or the other, we get to know. So that energy that goes within, the one who is sensible, the mind can get disturbed, can feel sad. There could be generation of fear. There could be concern of the future, worry of the future. But we have to keep ourselves safe from all these things. And with the inculcation of knowledge of Baba, to have complete faith that only what Baba shares, that we listen to that, we speak about that, even in our interaction, we use those virtues. Only then, so one, the, the intellect has to imbibe and then it has to come in our lifestyle. So when we see our ancestor dadis, once there was a VIP program in Madhuban. There was a big question those days. In the Middle East, there was a war going on. So they were worried if the flights will come or no, is it safe or not? So the group was discussing among themselves, should we keep the program or cancel the program? So those days it used to be very easy because Dadi Gulzar used to be there and go ask Baba. Dadi every day at Amrit Vela, she would go to Baba and whatever signal she would receive from Baba, she would share. So we went to Dadi Janki. So we said, Dadi, there is war going on. So she didn't ask anything. Okay, there is a fight going. She didn't ask why there is a war going on in which country is involved. She didn't ask any question. We go into those questions. Where is it happening? Why it's happening? And then finally it was decided the program will happen. Whoever has to come will come, and who don't have to come will not come. Why should we cancel the program? So when we have to take a decision, so the information of the outside world interferes a lot. So these days, there's a lot about the weather forecast. Tomorrow, there's a lot. Or they're going to say, there's going to be, it's very hot tomorrow. It's going to be a big storm of snow tomorrow. We listen. One is to know about it. It's good because when you're stepping out of the house, you at least have an umbrella and you're prepared. But sometimes how much we expect the snow to come, it doesn't happen or it doesn't come at all. So I wonder, is all our thinking is based on the forecast of the weather just because of their predictions? Should I prepare or to whatever is necessary for me? And if it is possible, I do it. Many times I see we change our plan completely based on those forecasts. And once they said, oh, there's going to be so much rain, and they said, cancel. And we canceled. And then there was no rain at all. And we thought, oh, if the program was there, it would have happened. So, to what extent do we keep that information? Because at the time of making a decision, it's important to know about many things. But if we go too much into those information, keep it in our intellect, then to take the signals from Baba, we go to Baba, isn't it, Baba? We go to Baba to take permission. Baba, shall I do this? Is this right? Baba will always give signals. So while making a decision, the intellect should be able to understand the signals of Baba. And if I'm too much into outside, there is going to be a little difference. So I remember initially when I used to go into trance, Baba had told me one thing. So whatever you see up and come, initially Baba used to show that someone's light was very dim. So maybe because someone is under Maya and or going through something. And Baba said, never come down and say that to anybody. And secondly, Baba said, never ask about yourself. So when we were little, when we used to go ask Baba if we'll pass or not, even if there were small things happening, they would go out, they would tell, go ask Baba. So she decided, like, I'm not going to ask. You will get to know whether you're going to pass or not. So Baba gave me this teaching to whatever extent it's possible to keep the intellect divine. And only when I pay this attention, I'm able to share this with you. We have to pay a lot of attention on this.
या कोई भी किसी की स्थिति की ड्रामा क्या होता है सीन एक एक मिनट नया बदलता
Every
है
in every moment, the scenes of drama keeps changing and moving along.
एक सीन
But it's a
बार
drama, it was a scene,
बुद्धि
and
की
it's in the
माया
past.
करके
So not to
अगर हमारा
keep that
बचपन
scene in the intellect and to move forward,
जब हम
because
जीवन
as
पर
in the
भरोसा
future,
स्थापित रहने
the
लगेंगे
time is going to come
डिपेंडेंसी
where we have to depend a lot on our
तो
decision
कोई ना
power.
कोई दूसरा भी हमको राय देगा
There will be people who will give you
ये करो
opinions,
ये
they'll
करो
give you
पर
guidance to do this, to do
हमारा
that,
जो चाहिए ना उस
but
टाइम पर
we
अपनी
will need our
एनर्जी
own
लगेगी
power of
कि
concentration and our own strength. And that depends on
इसीलिए
how I've prepared
हम
myself.
सबकी मानते हैं सबकी
So we
सुनते
do
हैं पर
take
बाबा से
everyone's
बात करके
opinion.
आते हैं
Still, we go in front of
बाबा
Baba
इधर
and
बैठे हैं
sit.
अगर इशारा मिल
And
जाता है
then, whatever signal we get
तो
from
करने की
Baba,
हिम्मत होती है
so
और
internally,
सफलता की गारंटी होती है
there's a
निर्लजता
guarantee of
और बुद्धि की
success
भरपूरी
internally,
होती है
and internally there's fearlessness
इसीलिए
that comes along.
बुद्धि पे बहुत
Therefore,
ज्यादा हमें ध्यान रखना
keep
है
a lot of attention on our
भविष्य में ऐसा समय
intellect,
आएगा
because in the future,
जो
a
एक
time will come.
मिलीसेकंड को एक
We have
सेकंड
to
में
make a
बदल देगा
decision in a second. You will just
इसलिए
get
हमारी
a
हमेशा
second.
को
Therefore, Baba
यही
also
अभ्यास
tells us
करते
children,
जाइए
child, practice of a
मैं कई
second.
बार जैसे अचानक एक
Many
सेकंड के लिए
times,
शरीर
all
से
of a
दूर हो
sudden, I
जाता हूँ
ask myself, can I become bodiless in a
तो
second?
क्या अव्यक्ति स्थिति क्या होती है ये
What is Avyakti stage in a
इस तरह जैसे
second?
बीच बीच में मैं
So,
उन्हें
in
हटा देता हूँ
between, my attention goes to
जब
these.
अभ्यास हमें
And the
मिलता है
practice of a second we have to do, we do.
और कई बार सफलता नहीं
And
होती है
sometimes we are not
लेकिन
successful because if I'm not
बुद्धि का
practiced that much,
स्थित नहीं हो पाते
then I won't be able to stabilize myself in that
स्थित हो
stage. Thoughts
लेकिन
are
जिस स्थिति में
created,
स्थित हो जाओगे
but to stabilize myself in that stage, what Baba
स्थिति में
says,
स्थित हो जाओगे
child, stabilize yourself in that stage. That
स्थिति में
doesn't
स्थित
happen.
हो जाओ
Or Baba says, child,
तो उसमें मैंने देखा
set
है कि
yourself on that
10-15
seat.
मिनट लग सकते
So
हैं
I've seen in that a little more time or a minute is
स्थिति
required.
लग जाए
Baba says to
तब जाके
stabilize
बुद्धि
yourself
अव्यक्त
on
सीट पर
a
बैठ जाती है
self-sovereign, the seat of self-sovereign.
तो ये अभ्यास सब लोगों को दिन में कई बार करते रहना
So we
चाहिए
have to keep doing
इससे
this
हमारा
practice many times
फर्क पड़ेगा
during the day, through
हमें
which our
बहुत
self
खुशी होगी कि
confidence will
हाय
increase,
बाबा जो
and
कह रहे हैं
internally we'll be
बिल्कुल सही
very
है
happy because whatever Baba is saying, and I will keep
तो इसलिए
attaining success
बुद्धि पे
in
ध्यान
it.
करने की शक्ति
So increase the
पर्यावरण पे
power
ध्यान
to
करने की
inculcate
शक्ति
in the intellect
उस तरह
and
से
to
हमारी
imbibe it
बहुत
in our life.
बढ़ती
And we have to
जाएगी
pay a lot and lot of attention on that. Om Shanti.